What happens when one man decides the world is his for the taking? Not through diplomacy, not through trade, but through blood, fire, and fear. His name was Genghis Khan, a name that still echoes with terror 800 years later. He didn't just conquer cities, he erased them from the map. He didn't just defeat enemies, he exterminated them. This isn't a story of heroism. This is a story of unstoppable wrath, of cities drowned in blood, of how one man turned the steppes of Mongolia into a launch pad for the deadliest massacres in human history. The rise of Genghis Khan, a savage beginning. Before he was Genghis Khan, the universal ruler, he was Temujin, born into a brutal and lawless world on the windswept steppes of Mongolia in 1162. His father was poisoned by rival tribes, leaving the family destitute. Starving and hunted, Temujin clawed his way through betrayal, captivity, and war. He united the Mongol tribes not with promises, but with ruthlessness. His rule began in blood, and it never stopped. In 1206, Temujin took the title Genghis Khan, and with it the divine right to conquer the world. What followed was not just conquest, it was annihilation, the art of total war. Genghis Khan wasn't just a warrior. He was a master of psychological warfare. His military campaigns were unlike anything the world had ever seen. He offered cities a simple choice: surrender or be erased. If a city resisted, he didn't just defeat it, he turned it into a message for the next. Towers of skulls, rivers clogged with corpses, entire populations slaughtered, enslaved, or scattered. He used terror as a weapon. Word of his cruelty would travel ahead of his army. Many cities surrendered out of pure fear. Those who didn't ceased to exist. The Khwarezmian Empire, a cataclysm in Central Asia. In 1219, the Shah of the Khwarezmian Empire made the mistake of offending Genghis Khan. After the Mongols sent a caravan for trade, the Shah seized it and murdered the merchants. Genghis Khan demanded justice. The Shah responded by beheading Genghis Khan's envoy and humiliating the rest. Big mistake. Genghis Khan unleashed one of the most devastating invasions in history. In 3 years, he reduced the Khwarezmian Empire, once a powerful force in Central Asia, to ashes. Cities like Bukhara, Samarkand, Nishapur, and Merv were obliterated. In Nishapur, after a Mongol commander, Genghis's son-in-law, was killed, Genghis ordered the mass execution of over 100,000 residents. Some estimates say up to 1.7 million. In Merv, a prosperous city of science and culture, nearly 700,000 people were massacred in a single week.
Scholars, poets, scientists, all gone. Knowledge wiped out. Civilization set back by centuries.
Baghdad, the cultural capital, turned cemetery. Though Genghis Khan died in 1227, his legacy of destruction continued under his descendants, especially Hulagu Khan, his grandson. In 1258, the Mongols besieged Baghdad, the heart of the Islamic Golden Age, a city renowned for its libraries, schools, and scientific achievement. After the siege, over 200,000 people were slaughtered. Some sources estimate up to 1 million. The House of Wisdom, one of the world's greatest libraries, was burned. Scholars were murdered. The Tigris River reportedly ran black with ink and red with blood. The Islamic world never fully recovered. The numbers: death on an unthinkable scale. Modern historians estimate that Genghis Khan's conquests directly caused the deaths of 40 to 60 million people, at a time when the global population was just 400 million. That's up to 15% of the entire human race wiped out in less than a century. In China alone, the population dropped by tens of millions between 1211 and 1279 due to Mongol invasions, famines, and destruction. Entire civilizations disappeared, not just from the map, but from memory. Massacre tactics, brutal efficiency. The Mongols didn't just kill, they made it efficient. Census-style massacres, Each soldier would be ordered to kill a certain number of civilians. Deceptive retreats. Mongols would fake a retreat, lure the enemy into the open and then ambush, leaving no survivors. Human shields. Civilians were used to absorb enemy arrows during sieges. Biological warfare. Mongols reportedly catapulted plague-ridden corpses over city walls, an early form of germ warfare. They were organized, disciplined, and utterly without mercy.
Why did they do it?
To Genghis Khan, mercy was weakness. He believed in divine destiny, that he was chosen by the eternal blue sky to rule the world. Anyone who resisted that destiny was not just an enemy. They were a rebel against divine will. But there was also a calculated purpose to the massacres. Fear was more powerful than swords. A city that feared massacre was more likely to surrender. The killings saved the Mongols from fighting long wars. It made them more efficient and more terrifying.
Legacy, genius, or genocide?
Here's the paradox. Genghis Khan united the Mongol tribes. He opened the Silk Road, boosting trade between East and West. His empire established religious tolerance and meritocracy. He's revered in Mongolia as a national hero. His face is on their currency. But for much of the world, his name means death. For scholars, Genghis Khan remains one of history's greatest military minds and one of its most prolific mass murderers. Conclusion: the shadow of Genghis Khan. History loves conquerors. We remember Alexander, Napoleon, Caesar. But Genghis Khan, he was something else entirely.
He didn't just carve an empire.
He burned, bled, and butchered his way across continents. His empire was the largest contiguous land empire in history. But the cost?
Tens of millions of lives. Whole cultures erased, cities vanished.
A death toll so large it may have cooled the Earth's climate. He was a storm that swept across Asia and Europe, and when it passed, it left silence. Imagine a man so feared the mere mention of his name made cities surrender. So ruthless he erased civilizations like chalk from a board. So powerful, the earth itself trembled beneath his horse's hooves. This was Genghis Khan. Was he a visionary leader or the greatest mass murderer the world has ever known? The line between genius and genocide has never been thinner. History remembers kings, but legends? They write their stories in blood. Subscribe for more history's darkest truths. The past was not kind, and neither were its emperors.